Hello. Yeah, hi, sir. Good evening. Good evening, all. Hello. Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah, yes, you are.
Yeah. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Mhm. Hello. Yes.
Yes, yes. I'm audible, na?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hello everyone. Very good evening. Am I audible?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry. I don't know what happened. Previously, I was not able to hear any voices and I was unable to unmute
Mhm.
myself. So that's what I uh, closed and again I have joined. No problem, ma'am. Shall we
Okay.
begin?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah.
So hello everyone. Very good evening to all. And thank you so much for joining on time. So the topic today which we are discussing that is nothing but the software development life cycle approach, right? We know what is going to be our software life cycle approach, but when it comes to a software development, it is something that deals with the software development. Okay, so software development from start to finish, right? This is just a development kind of thing I can say. So what is mean by your software development life cycle? Why it is important, and which software development lifecycle approach we are using as a part of our pharmaceutical industry, life science industries, or IT industries. That also we will going to discuss. Okay. So first of all, let's understand what is mean by your software development lifecycle approach. Okay. So this is a structured process used to design, develop, test, and deploy the software. Okay, this is something a structured process which used to design, develop, test, and deploy the software efficiently and reliably. Okay, it ensure that software meets the user requirements, is delivered on time, and complies with quality and regulatory standards. Okay, so according to our software lifecycle also, this is what we are making sure. And according to the software development lifecycle also, we are making sure the software which we are developing, that is designed in a structured way, design, develop, test, and deployed, so that this software will be efficiently and reliably deployed, test, design, and develop. Along with it will ensure that the software will meet the user requirements and it's delivered on time and complies with the quality and regulatory standards. Okay, so this is nothing but the software development lifecycle approach. Why it is important? So it will ensure that a systematic development will be there. Along with that, reduce the project risk and cost. Then it will enhance the quality and the maintainability. Apart from that, facilitate the regulatory compliances, and it will improve the team collaborations and the transparency. So this is all the importance of a software development lifecycle approach. Okay. When we are following a software development lifecycle approach, so when we are developing any software, okay, so as a part of a software, what are all software you are using? So at the time of the development, we used to select the methodology, which will be the methodology we will be referring, we will be using as a part of the software development life cycle. Okay. So according to the software development life cycle, overall, I'm talking about. So we have, I can say, 7 different phases under the software development life cycle, right? First, we will be discussing those 7 phases, and then we can discuss what are all methodologies are there as a part of the software development lifecycle approach. Okay, so here you can see we have 7 different phases under the software development lifecycle: the planning, analysis, design, implementation, testing, deployment, and the maintenance. Okay, so retirement is not there because this is a part of our software life cycle, not a software development life cycle. So software development, it's specific to the software development. Okay, and software life cycle is from the scratch, development, maintenance, approval, implementation, and retirement. Everything will be covered under your software life cycle. That is the difference between software life cycle and software development life cycle. Okay, so here we have 7 different phases, right? First is going to be your planning. Okay, so similar to the planning, we will be identifying the project goal, scope, project plan, feasibility studies, requirement gathering. Okay, these are all the things we will be doing or we will be implementing as a part of a planning of our project. Okay, so similar to our project planning, we can plan the software development plan. Okay, on the basis of that, we can gather the requirements. Okay, like we can identify the project goal, we can identify the scope, we can plan the project plan, feasibility studies, requirement gathering, etc. So these are all the things we can do as a part of a planning. Then second is going to be analysis. So what are all planning we have done, what are all analysis requirement we have gathered, those requirements are going to be analyzed. So developers will analyze the requirements and they will create a clear and precise project requirements, documentations, that is called functional requirements. Okay. As I mentioned multiple times, URS is business language document. Developer will not understand your business language, URS. They will convert this URS into functional requirements. Okay. Functional requirement, configuration requirement, design requirements. Okay. And on the basis of that, they will be developing the system. This is what the procedure we have. So analyzing the requirements. Okay. Then functional requirement, non-functional requirement, technical requirement, regulatory requirement. In that way, they will be analyzing and creating a requirement sets. Finally, after performing the analysis to the requirement, they will be designing the systems. So designing the system means system architecture, system design and specifications. So high level design that will talk overall about the systems architecture and data flow. Then low level diagram, that is detailed design of individual components and modules. Okay, that is the design, I can say, design we will be creating. Then implementations. Once we have designed the systems, then we will be implementing the systems. So implementing is nothing but coding, configurations, programming, etc. So writing some codes based on the design documentation, programming language, writing, debugging codes, etc. So these are all the activities we will be doing as a part of the implementation. Once we implemented the software, once we are good with the software, then we will be going for a testing. So thorough end-to-end testing is going to be done to verify the software is free from bugs and it will meet the specific requirements. So unit testing, that will testing individual components, integration testing, system testing, functional testing, non-functional testing, user acceptance testing, all kind of testing we will be performing as a part of the testings. That is going to be in the lower environment, that is called validation environments. Okay, so in the at the time of development of any software, if we are developing any software from the scratch, that time we will be having at least 3 environments. That is called lower environments, or we can say development environments. Okay, we call it as development environments. Second is going to be a validation environment, that is called testing environments. Okay, or multiple names are also there. Non-production environments. Okay, pre-production environments. In that way, multiple terminology will be there. And third environment will be a production environments. Okay, productions or business or end users. Okay, so where the actual system is going to be used, where actual activities are going to be performed on the system software. So lower environment where we will be developing the software, we will be coding, configuring, designing the systems. And in the validation environment, these two environments are a controlled environment. Here, we will be officially performing the testing, okay, in a controlled manner without with the appropriate of with pre-approved test cases, okay. That is called validation environments. Once we are satisfied with the validation environment, then we will be going for a production environment deployment. Okay. So that is something testing. So once we are good with the testing in the validation environment, then we will be going for a deployment. So deployment is going to be in the production environment where the end user will be using the systems with appropriate level of training and appropriate level of access. That is called deployment. So on software pass all the tests, it is deployed to the production environment, installation, setting of the software on the intended platform, configuration, adjusting the setting for optional performance, etc. Activities are going to be performed. And once the software is deployed, that software will be in the operational phase, operation and maintenance phase. So in the operation phase, they will be providing ongoing supports, updates to ensure the software remains functional and secure. Bug fix, updates and enhancements also going to be implemented in the maintenance phase. Okay, so this is what all about the software development lifecycle approach according to the 7 phases of the software development lifecycle. This you can call it as the principles, or you can call it out as the 7 phases of a software development life cycle. Okay. Now, when we are talking about software development methodologies, so methodologies means what methods or what approach you will be using to develop a software. Okay. So if a software development approach is there, multiple approaches will be there. This is just a 6 we have shown over here because these are all important. Waterfall, V module and agile. Apart from others, for example, V module is there, waterfall is there, V module, agile methodology is there, spiral, rapid application development, incremental software developments, then your Scrum, Kanban, Lean, DevOps, right? Then your extreme programming, Six Sigma, RCI, blinded studies. So multiple methodologies or modes will be there, approach will be there to develop a software. How these methodologies, how these methods or approach will be selected. For this also we have a criteria. Okay. So criteria, I will say, it depends upon the project size. It depends upon the project complexity. It depends upon the team structure. It depends upon the customer requirements, budget, timeline. All these things will matters. And on the basis of that, we can go and select the methodologies for software development, and then we can implement the software. That is what software development lifecycle approach will be there. So what are all importance for us? Those we will be discussing over here. So the first and very important methodology is the waterfall methodologies. Okay. So you might have heard about the waterfall methodology. Okay. As a part of software development lifecycle, this can be a question which will be asked during your interview. What is mean by waterfall methodology? What is mean by your V module approach? And what is mean by your agile methodology? These three are very important as a part of software development lifecycle in the pharmaceutical industry, in the IT industry, as well as in the life science domain. Okay. So waterfall means this is a linear. Okay. This is a linear and sequential model. Okay. Linear and sequential model. Each phase must be completed before moving to the next phase. Okay. This is how it is called linear and sequential model. So each phase will be completed before moving to the next phase of the software development life cycle, right? It is simple to understand and manage, but can be flexible if the changes are needed later in the process. So for example, developing any software, any healthcare softwares, developing any medical device softwares, in that case, we can use the software, which is a methodology, which is called waterfall methodology. So if you're using any software, this will be good for pharmaceutical industry, life science domain, defense industries, and other government care of industries. So here the phases, what we have discussed, the 7 phases, somehow those 7 phases will be there in each and every methodologies. The requirement gathering, which we have already discussed, analysis, okay, we have already discussed. So planning was there, requirement analysis was there, then design was there, Coding is there, like here we will be performing the coding and configurations, testing and deployment. Okay. So somehow plus minus phases will be there, or some phases will be merged. Okay. So every methodologies have different phases and different approach. So this is called linear and sequential, means we can not go directly to design, directly to testing, directly to deployment, and we will not be having option to go back to the requirement again. So that is why it is called linear and sequential waterfall methodology. So we have to complete each and every phase, then we will be only moving to the next phase. So requirement gathering will be there, then analysis, then design, then coding, then testing and the deployment. So we will not be having chance or option to go back and make the changes and come back again. That is why it is called waterfall models. That is called linear and sequential approach for software development lifecycle. Okay. Secondly, the most commonly methodology we are using, that is called V module approach or V model approach. So what is mean by your V model approach? This is the extension of your waterfall with testing. This is the testing we will be performing map to each development stage. This is called your development stage, and this is called your testing. This is called verification. This is called your validation. So in linear and sequential, we will be following the waterfall, but here each testing phase or each development phase is going to be traced back or verified in the verification stage. That is called verification and validation. That is called V module approach. So it will start from the validations, then user requirement will going to be drafted, functional specifications are going to be drafted, system architectural design, configuration, coding, and building the systems. Okay. According to that, we will be going for a development testing, that is unit testing, integration testing, etc. Then we will be performing the installation qualifications. So installation is verifying with respect to your software designs and configurations you have mentioned in your documentations. Similar to that, functional testing, that is called OQ. This is going to be verified with respect to your functional documents. Okay. The functional requirement you have documented. Then requirement, the finally PQ or user requirement is going to be tested according to your user requirement specification document. Then finally the validation summary reports. Before summary, we can have RTM. Before summary, we can have test summary reports. In that way, this is verification and this is validation for your software development lifecycle approach. This is the most common and very useful methodologies as a part of a software development lifecycle or as a part of a software testing in a pharmaceutical industry, life science industry, or in the IT industry. Okay. Yeah. Now next is going to be your agile methodology. Okay. So you might have heard about the agile methodology. Agile is a completely different development approach. Okay. And this is very well. And now we are using this in the industry, whether it is IT, whether it is a life science domain. Pharma industry, mostly we will not be having any agile approach unless and until there is any critical system, there is any customized systems. Okay. So this is a iterative and incremental development that emphasize the collaborations, flexibility, and customer feedback using a sprint. Okay. So a project. So in waterfall or V model, what we used to do, if we have 100 requirement, we used to develop the software one time for all the 100 requirements. Okay. That is what the approach we were following. But now in Agile, what we used to do, those 100 requirements are going to be equally distributed. For example, if I have 100 requirements, okay, I have 100 requirements. So what I will be doing, I will be planning one sprint, that is called sprint one. Okay. Sprint or iteration, I can say. So SP1, SP2, SP3, and the SP4. Okay. So this is called sprint or iterations. So this is an iterative and incremental approach that emphasize flexibility, collaborations, and customer feedbacks. It divides the project into small, manageable iterations called at a sprint. Okay. Or allowing for a continuous improvement and adaptations. That is what the intention and agile methodology. For example, creating a mobile application for fitness purpose or fitness tracker. The developer team works in an iterative cycle sprint to deliver the small usable feature. After each sprint, feedback is gathered from the user to improve the application in a subsequent iteration. Okay. So first time what we will be doing, we will be providing some basic features. Okay. So from 100 requirement, we will be figuring out what are all basic 25 requirements are there for the systems. Okay. Or what are all standards features will be there for the software. Those we will be releasing in the sprint one. Okay. That is going to be our software release to the productions. So in that we will be performing the testing, verification, everything will be documented. And then secondly, we will be gathering the feedbacks simultaneously. SP2 is going to be developed by the developers. For these 25 requirements, feedbacks will be gathered, customer feedbacks and the performance will be monitored for the systems. If anything that needs to address, that need to attend, that also we will be clubbing for sprint 2. Okay. Any bugs, any issues, any feedbacks, any performance issues are there, that also we can incorporate with your sprint 2, or that we can park. But for now, we have released the software. For example, a healthcare system is built in a 3-week sprint. Okay. Each sprint deliver on working feature. For example, first we have given the features for patient login, then appointment booking, then prescription tracking. So in that way, we can develop the software in different sprint, and we can release the software according to the sprint. This sprint can be have 1 to 4 week time, that is called iterations. So in this 1 to 4 week of iteration, we have to develop the software. We have to develop these requirement. We have to test this requirement into the lower environments, into the validation environments, and we can deploy this into the production environment where the end users are accessing the software or the systems. That is called agile methodology, which will have the sprints or multiple iterations will be there. It is depend upon the project complexity, the project size, the budget, costing, everything. Okay. Yeah. Yogesh, you have any doubts?
So with SP1, we have defined a sprint. So SP2 will run parallelly or once SP1 is completed?
Yogesh, I'm not able to hear you. If you're saying something, I'm not
Yeah,
able
yeah.
to hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now? Hello?
Anyone is able to hear Yogesh? Because I'm not able to hear you.
Yeah, problem is can you only problem.
Sorry?
Problem is yours only. I'm hearing the
Okay.
Yogesh voice.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're
Can
able
you
to hear
me
it?
now? I think I'm able to hear you. I mean, so
Archana, Bharat?
Yes,
Yeah,
But
yes.
I'm not able. I don't know what happened. I'm not able to hear Yogesh's voice. I can hear you, Archana and Bharat as well. Yogesh, can you paste your queries in the chat box?
okay. 1 minute.
Or if someone can convey what he is saying.
So what I'm asking now, once SP1 completed, so after that only SP2 is started, or
This is happen
they
all
are
the time.
running
I don't know.
parallel? So can anyone else convey my message?
Yeah, I think Yogesh is asking, is the sprint 2 starts once the sprint 1 finished, or it is starting before that?
See, development can be started, but actual testing
Okay.
will not start unless and until sprint 1 is delivered, because the environment will remain same now, right? You will be performing the testing for sprint 1. Once you release the sprint 1 into production or into your higher environment, then only, and you cannot immediately start. You can start development. You have to wait for a couple of days or week. Okay, you have to gather the feedbacks. Then you can deploy or you can test the sprint 2. That is what the approach. This is called agile methodology. Parallel, we can do activities, right? That is not an issue. But testing wise, you have to wait for a couple of days to gather the feedbacks, right? You have to work on the requirement development. That is what the case. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Similar to that, we do have multiple methodologies as a part of software development lifecycle. Like your spiral, that is also combines the iterative development and risk analysis. Then we have rapid application development, right? Incremental modules. That was kind of a agile methodology. Lean software development is also there. Scrum is also there. Six Sigma is also there. That is design, measure, analyze, and improve and control. Overall, what I will say, these three are the most important methodologies which we'll be using. And for agile, we have a dedicated session for agile software development. In that, we will be discussing all the approaches, how to define the sprint, how to implement, how to deploy, and how to go for another sprint. In that way, we will be discussing everything in very detail. So about agile, you don't need to worry about that. And V module and waterfall anyway, we will be discussing in our CSU validation how approach is going to be selected, and our overall approach, I will say, it depends upon the V module approach. Okay. So we are covering all the applicable and important software development life cycle, which are important to understand or to have as a part of a CSV person. Now, the high level selection of a methodologies. So if you have a fixed requirements, and first of all, these software development methodologies will be selected on the basis of customization for see, we have four different types of software, like category one, that is the infrastructure software; category three, that is a non-configurable products; category four, that is a configurable products. Okay. And category five, okay, that is we call it out as a custom software. Okay. So if a category one software is there, you don't even need to go for any software development lifecycle approach, because this is software already developed by the developer. They will be providing you. You can test it and you can deploy it. That is what. For category three as well, this is already the pre or configured or ready-made softwares available in the market. You don't need to go and develop it. So they have already developed the package, everything. You just need to take the software from their end and you just have to install. That is what the approach. For category four also, we are not going to develop anything. We are going to configure, we are going to set up the things. That's it. But in terms of category five, either we are developing the software for ourselves, with ourselves, I can say custom software, in-house developments, or we will be asking developer, we will be asking vendor to develop the software according to our requirements. In that case only, in case of category five only, software development lifecycle approach will be important and selected. Now, because here we are developing the software from the scratch. Here, in all the cases, we already have the software available in the market, develop in the software in the market. So we are not going to develop the software. Okay. But in case of category five, custom software, we will be developing the software from the scratch. Okay. So that is why when selecting a software development lifecycle approach, so how we can select the methodologies, as I mentioned, project size, project complexity, budget, cost, timeline, everything. These things are also important. This thing has to be considered into mind, or we have to consider these factors while selecting the software development lifecycle approach. As well as if you have a fixed requirement, okay, if you have a fixed requirement, then you can simply go with the waterfall or V model approach, right? If you have a high risk or complex systems, in that case, you can go with the spiral or Six Sigma approach. If you need a fast delivery of the software, okay, so initial requirements you need to implement in the systems, later you will be gathering the feedback, you will be implementing the software, right? In that case, we can go with the agile or rapid application development. Then if you are working in the regulated industry, so V module, Six Sigma, waterfall or agile will be important. And in that way, you can select the methodologies, and in software development lifecycle approach will vary. Okay, there won't be a drastic change, but applications or flow will be little bit different. The terminology will be little bit different. Apart from the regulatory standpoint, okay, so software development lifecycle, why it is going to be implemented, so that the software will be implemented in a controlled manner. Okay. And with considering the requirement from the user, considering users requirement from the business, as well as the regulatory expectations. Okay. So 21 CFR part 11 will be the applicable for electronic record, electronic signature. Then GAM5 will be there as a part of software lifecycle frameworks. Okay. ISO framework is there. HIPAA guidelines is there. SOX guidelines is there, GDPR guidelines is there. Okay, so these are all the guidelines or I can say regulatory expectations are there if we are following for any kind of software developments. Okay, so ISO is there, GDPR is there, General Data Protection Regulations, HIPAA is also there. Then SOX is there, Sarbanes-Oxley Act is there. When you are using any software that will be used in case of a payment industry. So you might have seen PCI DSS certifications. Okay. So PCI DSS. Okay. So you might have seen this on your phone pay, Google Pay, or any platform where you're making any payments. Okay. So this is something applicable for a set of security standard designed to ensure that all the companies that accept, process, store, transmit the credit card informations maintain a secure environment. That is why it is called PCI DSS. Then Sarbanes-Oxley Act is there. That is for financial systems. Okay, the systems which is going to be used for financial reporting, auditing, right? That is why Sarbanes-Oxley is there. Then we can have a CMMI, that is capability, maturity, model integration. FISMA is there, that is Federal Information Security Management System. GDPR is there, General Data Protection Regulations. Okay. Then HIPAA is also there. Okay. Health insurance portability and protection, I can say, accountability. Okay. So these are all the applications regulations will be there as a part of a software development lifecycle approach. These regulation has to follow if you are developing a software for these particular industries. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it about the software development lifecycle approach. If anyone have any questions, queries, or doubt, just let me know. That I will be discussing, Satish. So don't worry about that. V model, agile, we will be discussing in detail. V model, you can take any software, na? What I mentioned, if you're developing any custom software. So how you will be selecting the methodologies. And first of all, developer, business owners, business teams, and higher management will going to select this. CSV will not be the person who will be selecting the development methodologies. Okay, because that time CSV will not be there. Okay, so this has to be selected by the developers, business, and higher management. How they are developing the software, what are all approach will be there, what is the budget, what is the cost, what is the resources, what is the timeline, how the requirements are going to be created, drafted. Okay, in that way. So developer and other team members will be selecting the methodologies as a part of a testing on the software is planned to deploy. That time CSV will be coming into the picture. Okay, they will be making sure the software is developed and implemented according to the requirements, according to the regulations, and in a controlled manner. Right. Yeah. And we have to focus on the agile. We have to focus on the V model and waterfall methodology. Remaining modules are also there, but as I mentioned, these three are the most suitables and models which we are using as a part of software development. Remaining models, as I mentioned, if you'll talk about the spiral methodologies, that is kind of a bankings or enterprise applications which we'll be using. Rapid application development is there, that is used for retail and internal business tools. Incremental models can be used as a part of educations and e-commerce systems. Okay. Lean can be used for logistic and manufacturing startup. Then Scrum Masters, that is fintech product development teams. Six Sigma can be used for pharma manufacturing and others. So in that way, this is how the approach will be applicable. And we have to select the methodologies on the basis of our area, on the basis of our software categorizations, our industry, our requirements, our project size, right? Complexity, budget, everything has to be considered while selecting the software development lifecycle approach. Yes, Saikat?
Hello, sir. So
Yes.
actually, what was one thing in case of agile, first we have normally first we complete the SP1, then SP2, then SP3. Now, if the scenario came means SP1 after completion of SP1, we will start SP2. But then in that case, we need to ensure that SP2 stage criteria will not affect SP1. Am I correct? Actually, in my
Yes.
understanding, I'm just asking.
Yes, yes, yes. See, for example, we have planned for a sprints. So first we will be delivering the sprint one. Okay, that will be delivered with the basic features as we discussed, and we will be monitoring the performance, the response, and the issues, any issues from the sprint one. So simultaneously, we will be developing the sprint two. Okay. Once we gather the timeline is ended, then we will be going for a deployment and testing for the sprint two. So if any issues, any problems, any bugs, any performance issues encountered during sprint one uses, so that we will be incorporated in sprint two. Okay. Or either if that is not important, if we identified later, that we can park for sprint three. In that way, we have to apply the agile methodology approach.
Actually, I understand. Actually, my question is if Spring 2, when we will develop the Spring 2 or Spring 3, its previous one is affected by this later one. In that case, we'll consider that Spring 1 will fix this bug of Spring 1 in Spring 2 only.
No, I'm not getting your question. See, the infrastructure is ready. The system is live in the productions. So we will be simply deploying the sprint two configurations, right? Sprint one configuration is already there. So we will be simplying the deploying the sprint two configurations into the production environment. So there won't be any impact on the existing platforms unless and until there is a change, unless and until there is any system performance issues or something like that.
Okay, okay.
Yep. So for example, 25% system will be developed in the sprint one, then remaining 25% will be developed in sprint two, then 75% developed will be in sprint three, and 100% of your software developed and deployed in the sprint four. That is 100 requirements, 100% of your software implementation. This is how the sprint are going to be designed and deployed. Frequent updates and deployment, I can say. Okay. Anyway, Agile we will be discussing in very detail. So that we will be explaining you with example how sprint are going to be designed and how we will going to deploy everything. We will going to discuss in very detail about the agile methodology. That is a separate sessions we will be having as a part of our advanced learning. Okay. Yeah. Any doubts? Anything? Any apart from this? Saikat, you still have any doubts?
Okay, no, sir, no, sir.
Okay, no problem. So now we have completed Industry 4.0 validation, QMS, project management, data integrity, software development lifecycle. Yeah, maybe we will be having next two more sessions on the basics, and then we will be getting started with the CSV validations. So two more lectures will be there on the basics, and then we can get started on the actual CSV validations. Okay. Meanwhile, if you guys have any questions, any queries about any topics, anything can be like your project, your career guidance, everything, anything, you can reach out to us and we are here to help you out. It's not just with respect to the batch. Later also you can reach out if you need any support from our end with respect to your project, right? For your interview preparations. So you can reach out to us. We are here to help you out. Okay.
Yeah, Karen, you have to start one more topic for today.
Sorry, Bharat.
You have to start one more topic today.
No.
No.
We
Yeah,
have
that's
1 hour session, no?
okay. Yeah, it is 10:15, right? 10:15.
No, standard, like, see, considering the time, we used to conduct one topic in each sessions. And it depends, if we wrap up the topic earlier, we can also get started with a new topic. But most of the time, it's not good to just keep the 50% topic today and then continue the 50% topic in next lecture. So that's what we used to follow, the standard approach. Each section will have one topic. Yep. And this is what we have already designed, and the steps we are following, the roadmap we are following only. And this is what, in a very systematic flow. Once you understood the flow, you will be able to understand the CSC validation in very detail, and you can easily like start working on the CSC validation approach.
Yeah.
So the flow is very important.
Yes.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I think we're good. If no one have any questions, queries, doubt, we are good to close this call for today. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening. Good night.
Thank you. Bye.